Begin. All right. Welcome to Tech Tuesdays with CamLogic. And I'm Alex. All right. Today we're going to be covering blending tips, tricks, and techniques on NXCAD. Once again, I'm Alex Dudick, an application engineer at CamLogic. Okay. As far as CamLogic goes, been around since 1996. See a picture of Jim Carlisle there, fearless leader over here. And we're headquartered in Oxford, Michigan. We serve in Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, and Pennsylvania. So we're covering a pretty broad territory in the Midwest over here. We cover full complementary products as far as software goes, including NX, Solid Edge, VMAP, and Team Center. These are all Siemens PLM products. So these all complement each other. Let's see. We also have we offer CAD, CAM, CAE, PLM, PDM, and in-house we also have products relating to 3D scanning and printing. Is also including rapid prototyping. So we have products as far as Z Corporation goes, and we also have scanning products, including Romer and other Z Corp products. So try to complement with a full service perspective on your engineering needs. And we try to take the perspective that we're more than a reseller, because we've been a partner with Siemens for 15 years, but we're also a partner with our customers. So we want to make sure that our actual relationships that we have with you are meaningful and we can add value to your process. All right, right into what we're doing here. So a quick outline. I have 4 examples that I'm going to go through and also showcase a couple other things, mostly just highlights of what's going on, because right now NX 7.5 is the latest and greatest, and I want to make sure you know what's available, because there are some updates, there are some benefits that you might not be using, you might not be tapping those resources, and you should. Of course you should. So quickly, we've got 3-phase blending as example 1. That's part of inferred blending, so I'll touch a little bit on Shape Studio blending, which includes style and aesthetic phase blends. But I'll actually just be covering another 2-phase blend, but I think they're all similar, so it kind of wraps together. After that, I'll go with Radius and Blend Overflow, and then Synchronous Technology, of course. Spend some good time on that. Alrighty. So, blends. You might call them fillets, rounds. It depends on the software you use. They're all the same. It's a 3-dimensional round shape, or a convex concave rounded edge, normally on a part. And of course, they're used for breaking sharp edges. Sometimes they're used in welds. They're used in aerodynamic design in order to smooth out parts, so you don't set up either drag pockets or any interference. And then also to simplify machining. If weight's not an option, or sorry, not a constraint, then to smooth it out, you could use less precise tooling, and you can also machine quicker. So blends and fillets have multiple purposes, even beyond what I just explained. But that's just the basics of engineering. So let me go to an example. Oh shucks, maybe I should. I don't know why it happens like this. NX. Alright. So I'm actually just going to start with a new file to showcase this. It's not a big deal. In 7.5, you can make a quick sketch just by picking plane, selecting OK, and you don't have to orient to this particular sketch, so I won't. I just want to make a quick. Actually, I was going to use this plane here. One sec. No datum. Just a quick sketch on this plane. Okay. Quick rectangle. I'll use a profile. Take this over here. And finish up right like that. It's not particularly a beautiful piece, but what are you going to do? So I'm going to extrude real quickly. Just a simple piece. That's the beauty of designing in NX 7.5, but we have to go on to the blending. So a three-phase blend, essentially what the purpose is to make it so that you can fit the same profile without, compromising or trying to figure out what, because you have right there you have an edge, and then on the other side you have an edge. You might have different radii that constitute, what really fits there and how well they're going to, fit together and whether they fit together smoothly. So in order to get to this blend, we will do, let's see, edge blend would work, but we want face blend. I don't have it coming up, so I'm going to use the command finder. To get the command finder, it's usually up in the regular buttons up top, but if you don't have it, you can add it to your toolbar. But command finder is a great tool in order to search out a command, because there are so many different types of commands. Maybe you want to find a particular process in order to find, maybe you want a sheet from curves, maybe you want a particular type of blend. So command finder allows you to search all the commands and to find what really is going to suit you, or maybe you're going to find something that you never used before but might benefit you better than what you were searching. So I'm going to use face blend in the command finder. And what do we got? Face blend. It's in insert. Also, as you highlight objects in command finder, it will show you where to find it so you can find it next time, and then also you know what it looks like. So I'm going to choose face blend. And in the face blend dialog box, you're going to see the type. I need to go to 3 defining face chains. And with this, you have 2 face chains and then a middle face plane, or middle face. So the first and second chain are the sides, and then the last will be the middle. So I'll pick this side. It must face in, otherwise it will not correctly orient itself. And then you either choose this next star. The red star tells you that it needs to be completed. If you don't click it, you can middle mouse button click, which I'll do, to go on to the next step. But if you don't, then you keep selecting faces incorrectly. So this one also faces in, so it's oriented properly. Middle mouse button click. And then I'll choose the top surface that's the middle and correctly pick that. So if you have preview set, you can see where it's going to fit in. It's a nice little radius that fits, actually, as you'll see, it fits inside of the profile that I had for my my drawing, my sketch. And I can also do it on this one, so I'll do the same process. Pick the first face. I can click on the second one to pick the second chain face. Both of them are pointing, and that's oriented properly. If it's not oriented properly, you can double click on this handle, this pointer, and it'll switch directions. It'll reverse. You don't have to use there's a reverse up in this dialog box, but you can also double click and it will reverse. So that's your intuitive switch right there. Then I click on the middle face, and it's inferring my blend right now. If it's in the profile, so I'll just click OK. That's pretty nice. It's a lot smoother than trying to use 2 different radii on 2 different sides, or trying to get them to match. That could get awfully messy. Let's just say these are ribs, and you needed them to be round at the top. Just something smooth and clean, but not you don't want it choppy or just downright ugly. So this kind of cleans up very nicely, and it takes all the guesswork out of it. All right. Don't want that. I would like this. So that was example 1. Okay. And then we're going to go to blends with Shape Studio. In reviewing my demo for this, I decided that Shape Studio is cool. It's more like freeform and servicing. But I thought it would be more value to do another inferred blend, because there's a lot of crossover between the style and aesthetic blends in Shape Studio, and then what we were just looking at with the blend face. So I'm gonna open up the dialog for aesthetic and styled, which essentially it makes both of them will make your joining blend surface look great, of course, but at the same time it's what you're looking for. If you're looking for function and you want to do it quickly, then the technique we're looking at will do just fine. So next part will be close out of this one. All right. Going to recent stuff, we need this guy right here. All right. You can close Command Finder. So if you take a look at this, it's I've got some interesting curves here. I made it with X-forms, just a couple join surfaces, sheet bodies. I want to make a blend between them because I don't want that sharp corner there, sharp edge. So, like I did before, go to Insert and Surface. Shoot, I need the design feature. I guess I lost it already. Oops. Face blend is in the design detail feature. Okay. So I choose face blend, and rather than a 3 defining face chains, I'm going to use 2. So I'm going to choose this one first, and then this one next. And need to reverse it so that the faces are correct. They have to point outward because that's just the proper orientation given the direction of this particular blend. So you have a bunch of different options in the blend cross section, swept, rolling ball, and different types that you can do law controlled, which means it's based upon the spine. And you can do multi-transition too, which is very cool, I think. You pick points, and essentially what it means is you have nodes or points along this spine in order to manipulate the essentially the radius that goes into that particular area of the point along the spine. So I'll just pick a couple points just to show you that it's yeah, that's fine. Oh, well, let me do it. I want to put in something like 150. Maybe not. Oh, it's not working today. That's okay. And essentially, I'll just go over again what it means. You pick points along this spine. It doesn't have to be this particular line or edge, but at this given point, you could set the radius at 150, and it'll give you a larger blend that kind of rolls into your next point, which could be over here. But I mean, there's main radius. So if your main radius was 10, your point radius over here was 100. It would go from 100 down to 10, your regular radius, and then whatever you have specified for your next point along the multi-transition. Then we'll go back to Command Finder just to show you the dialog box. There's a lot of similarities with aesthetic and style blend. Okay. That's also the same feature. Okay. It's a little bit more complex. You can still do multi-transition. You can do it law-based, which means you set the laws of how it handles the scenario, and the orientation of points, or how phase chains interact. So that gets pretty complex for more complex surfaces and blends. Okay. So that is more complex and inferred blends. All right, on to blend overflow. So don't let your radii beat you. Don't let your rounds and fillets and blends take over just because you have too many all in one area and you get tied up. I've seen it, in the past where, sometimes it'll crash apart just because your blend overruns into another blend. So, in NX 7.5, it's definitely not the case. Sometimes your blend might not come out perfectly, but it will, it'll give you a shot at blending a little bit cleaner, no doubt. So for the next example, we've got just a simple block with a boss and a couple holes. I'll just leave the holes in there. So just, let's see, what's my dimensions on here? I guess I won't be able to see it. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just do a regular edge blend. I mean, you get a lot of choices on blending. Before it was a simple little dialog box. Now you've got overflow resolutions, you've got settings. So With the overflow resolutions, you have choices on what you can do in order to help your blends merge together a little bit cleaner. You can roll over smooth edges, roll on edges, or maintain blend and move sharp edges. So pretty much what those do is help you configure it so that you don't get something that's choppier. You get some strange blend that flips sideways and doesn't roll into the next blend quite nicely. Because essentially, I might want to blend here, and a blend here, and a blend here. I don't want them to be the same, but I want them to be quite large. So I chose 15 millimeters rather than 2.5. I'll take a sec. So that's one thing. Essentially, you wouldn't blend those all in one operation. So I'll do this edge first. It already overlaps into this part, which isn't too beautiful, to say the least. So with the overflow resolutions, it allows this boss to still. I'll take a right side view. It doesn't affect this boss. The boss still is planting down. It's hard to tell. Maybe I'll change it to well. We'll just roll the edge here, blend along the boss. Got an interesting configuration there. My blend radius is a little bit large too. So essentially, it joined these two blends together. I had to do it separately just because why would you blend the boss at the same time you blend the edge? I don't know. You can if they're not too close together, but as a separate feature, they blend together and play together quite nicely. Your boss blend rolls right into the edges of this block's, the base plates blends, and it doesn't mess up your holes either. It kind of rolls into that nicely. You don't have any choppy surfaces, because I've seen them before where they're just downright ugly. Right here you see it, it kind of rolls in nicely to those holes. So just a simple technique that you do separate features, and sometimes you have limitations, like I could not blend 15 millimeters on this boss, but it still worked out in the end. And you can change those overflow resolution choices pretty easily. Okay, on synchronous. So, of course, synchronous technology, it's the way to go, especially if you have, just a body, from a parasolid model, or somebody gave you some data, but it's just, featureless. You didn't get a tree with it, with features, and so basically, how are you going to play with radiuses or fillets or blends that you got from another part with a dead solid? How is that even possible? Well, I guess we're going to take a look. But in order to do that, you sometimes have to optimize the faces so that you essentially set it up that NX transforms your part and replaces the blends with blends of its own, loosely basing, or not loosely. Well, that can depend on the type of blends, but it'll take the blends, make them their own, and make it into features that you can use and blends that you can actually change the size of. So I'll bring up a body right now that I have set up for this. I made it into a body. It wasn't a body before, but it is now. Let's see, this body, this guy. So a pretty simple part. Got blends here, blends along the edges. Oh, it's not a bite. Okay. In order to use synchronous technology, sometimes what you have to do is you have to go into where you see history mode in the part navigator. There's history free mode. To do that, you wipe the part of its features. So now you see I have just a solid body with an edge blend that's still there. Okay. Well, either way, I'm going to go through it. Right here I have my Synchronous Technology toolbar. I just like to move it up over here so it's more visible so you can see it real quick. Actually, I don't have it in this menu, so I will go for Replace Blend. Part of the, it's actually under Insert Synchronous Modeling and Optimize. So you're going to replace a blend. I want to replace every blend on the part, essentially. So I can use them all. I want to use these ones too. Maybe I want to change the size of them. I've checked this before. So a shape match that's tight won't work for this part. So I turn it all the way down to loose. Highlight the entire part if you want to change all the blends over. This might take a second. It'll take all day. Yeah, some of these features can be pretty complex with the different surfaces, so pulling it from a body will be sometimes tedious, but once you set it and replace these blends, it'll make it much easier to resize. Okay. Maybe I'll try to cancel it. But, essentially, synchronous technology, it allows you to do things with parts you never thought you could. So it makes it beautiful, essentially, to, I'll just touch on the resize blend. It infers that the rest of the blend is all part of it too, so to change the size, here's a little handle to pull on. If you highlight it, it'll show you the directional movement. I can stretch it so it's tiny in that direction. I can push it this way so that it goes to its limits. It'll keep going until you don't see the preview anymore. Ah, yeah, I blew it up. Okay. It doesn't work there, but it works at 38. So I'll click the middle mouse button. It sets it up. So you can modify blends once you make them your own from whatever body parasolid model you get. It allows you to modify, and also, if you have B surfaces too, it makes it very easy to take a B surface. You see a couple lines and infer the round or fillet or blend, but it's something that you can't quite use or modify the size of because it's not oriented properly. This allows you to play with things that were out of your hands before. You don't have to regenerate as much, or change as much. This allows you to take charge. Okay. So that ends our demos for today. Here's a highlight of what you can use and what you should be using, essentially, to modify your parts. Especially if it's just something small. If you want to change a radius from, 13 millimeters to 12, sometimes, synchronous technology will be the quickest way to do it without messing up everything else. So we're CamLogic. We do training on site, and also we have a training lab, so in a classroom environment either way, and it's customized so that it suits whatever your process is. And let's see, that was today's webinar, NX Blending. Next week, I'm not sure if this one will be rescheduled, but a Solid Edge working in a multi-CAD environment. And on May 31st, we have an introduction to Solid Edge Insight, which is data management in Solid Edge. We'll have some more up on the schedule coming soon. So if you also want to see when our next Tech Tuesdays are involving NX, check CamLogic's website, because we have all the information up there, also in the links to set up. To see this webinar and any other webinars that we have, we also have Solid Edge, rep prototyping, 3D scanning. I believe they're all there, and also some wonderful Siemens demos on our YouTube page. It's youtube.com/user/CamLogic, or you can just search CamLogic on YouTube, and you'll find it for sure. This will be posted soon. And thanks for joining us. Once again, we're CamLogic in Oxford, Michigan. Phone number's on the left if you have any questions. You can direct your questions on this or blending techniques to me. My cell phone's listed there, and my email address, alexd@camlogic.com. I do the NX support here at CamLogic. So any inquiries, probably quickest to take questions offline if you have anything in particular, or anything else you need to know about. So I don't mean to cut this short or anything, but feel free to ask the questions in the chat pane offered in this webinar. And thanks for joining us. Hope you come back soon. We'll have another one for NX in probably 3 weeks.